What up YouTube, I'm back. So my Black Clover review is a day late because I had some things to do on Tuesday, so my bad about that. I just couldn't wait to next Tuesday to talk about this week's episode because it was way too important, man. So let's get right to it. So I'm not gonna really talk about everything that happened at the beginning of the episode because I don't think that's the most important thing that we saw in this week's episode. I'm mostly gonna talk about the things that happened at the end of it because it's about something that I was waiting for a long time. So I really want to talk about that, and plus my review is a day late, so I really want to talk about that and get it over with. So yeah. So anyway, obviously last week's episode we saw that Yami, Charlotte, and Lich were fighting the demon, and in this week's episode we saw that the demon did a kind of special magic spell. It was eating the life force and the magic of people. It worked on Yami a little bit on his arm. It was kind of disgusting, but it didn't work on Asta because I think he doesn't have magic. So that kind of bizarre spell didn't work at all on Asta, so he was alright. But yeah, that was cool. And then we saw that Asta, Patry, and Yuno are going to team up to go up against the demon, I think. And then Nozel and Mimosa are gonna help everyone that is in the building to evacuate, because of that kind of spell, so that's pretty interesting. I really want to see how Asta, Patry, and Yuno work together against that demon. It's basically gonna be a 6-on-1 because I think it's Asta, Patry, Yuno, Lich, Charlotte, and Yami, so against the demon. So that's kind of hardcore, all of them going up against a demon. I don't know how this will go because the demon is really powerful, so we'll have to see. I hope that they'll animate that fight really well. I really want to see how they're going to do that. But anyway, man, we're gonna talk about, I think, the most important part of the episode because I think at the beginning of the episode we saw that bird right there that is always with Asta talk to Finral. That was kind of weird. At first, I know that a long time ago I thought that bird was the Wizard King, not the past Wizard King, but the current Wizard King that died episodes ago. I thought that was him that transformed into a bird just to spy on Asta and the Black Bulls and see how they're doing, but it really wasn't. It was that woman right there, Secret Swallowtail. We're gonna talk about her a little bit later in the episode, but it was kind of interesting, man. I really didn't think that she would be that bird. So while Secret was in her bird form, she was telling Finral to go take the magic stones that the elf, and the Eye of the Midnight Sun had collected to resurrect all of them permanently. And she basically told, Finral to go on top of the demon skull, the big ass demon skull that the Wizard King defeated years ago, and then put these magic stones in the statue that represents the Magic King. So at that moment when she said that, I kind of knew what was going to happen, but it was actually to resurrect kind of Lumiere Silva Million Clover. So that's really interesting. First of all, we didn't know his name. We didn't know his name for a while. We were introduced to him a while ago, but we didn't know his name, and his last name is Silva Million. So that's interesting because obviously there's the Silvas in that, then there's the Vermilion. So that's really interesting. He was, I guess, the one that started this lineage. So that's pretty interesting. That's wild, but it's pretty cool. So I don't understand everything about that moment because I'm doing this review a day after the episode aired, so I forgot a lot of things. But from what I remember, the reason why he was in stone is because Secret, with her sealing magic, sealed him because he was gonna die. I don't know what happened and why he was gonna die, but that was kind of interesting to me. She actually sealed him so that 500 years, after what happened with, the demon and the elves, I guess she did that so that he would be able to come back and defeat that demon. So I thought that was pretty smart. And I'm wondering how Sekre in her bird form was able to survive for 500 years, because it doesn't seem like she's aged. It seems like she has horns on her head, and in the flashbacks that we saw, she didn't have two of these horns. So I think that was quite interesting. There's still a lot of things that we don't know yet, but hopefully we'll know in the next few episodes. Now, let's talk about the flashbacks because they were amazing. I was waiting for something like that for a long time. But first of all, I just want to say, I think that Sekre looked a little bit different than she does now, except for the horns. I just think that she looks a little bit different, but maybe that's just me. Anyway, Sekre was a noble, but because her magic wasn't useful for, the other nobles, she wasn't really, I guess, respected, but she finally was assigned to work with, the Wizard King Lumiere, and that's how I guess magic item were created, because she was sealing magic into items, so that was quite interesting. And the Magic King Lumiere was actually really really smart. He likes to, I guess, invent some things, creates things, so I guess that's what he liked to do. And we all know that he wanted the elves and every race to be equal, so that was pretty cool to see. But yeah, Sekre is responsible for creating magic items, so that I think was pretty cool. But you could also say that it was their fault. And when I'm saying their fault, I'm talking about Sekre and Lumiere, because they were the one that created the magic item that killed all these elves, and that killed Lumiere's sister Tetia, because she was getting married to Lich. By the way, before we talk about the rest of the episode, what happened with Tetia, with Lich, I just want to say I wasn't surprised that the nobles and Lumiere and Tetia's family didn't approve of, Tetia being married to an elf, because that's how humans are. They're scared of what they don't understand, and I'm guessing that, the humans didn't really understand who the elves were. So I'm not surprised that they didn't want Tetia to marry another elf. So I wasn't surprised, but I'm glad that they were going to do it, even though it didn't really happen. We didn't see if it happened or if it, I guess they were attacked after they finally got married, but it doesn't really matter. I just want to say that I wasn't surprised that humans didn't want a human to marry an elf. Anyhow, the reason why the elves were attacked is because the demon that appeared 2 episodes ago was plotting, behind the scenes, and he's the reason why all of that happened. He was the one, I guess, that was controlling the humans. He was the one that kind of captured Lumiere, the first Wizard King, and that's why Lumiere and Sekre wasn't able to get there in time to stop the magic item from attacking the elves. So the demon was the one that created all of that chaos, and at first Lich really thought that the ones that did that was Lumiere and the humans, but when he saw Lumiere and Sekre in front of him, he realized that it wasn't them. So that was a really emotional scene, with Lich holding Tetia in his arms. That was really really emotional. I didn't get how emotional that scene was and how everything about that was before this week's episode. I knew that it was kind of sad that everything happened like that. I knew that it was really really sad, but I thought that the way that they did the scene with Lich and with the other characters like Lumiere and Secret, plus even the demon, the way he was talking, I thought that that was really, really well done, and it showed the emotions and how Lich felt. Now, the part of the episode that I was the most confused with was what happened at the end of the episode, basically. And as y'all know, at the beginning of each episode, we hear the story about, the Wizard King defeating a demon that attacked, the Clover Kingdom. And what happened at the end of the episode basically told us how that happened, and that's kind of crazy. So from my understanding, and I'll need y'all help in the comments down below because it's kind of complex, but because I've watched the episode only once, I don't really know exactly how this works. But it seems like the reason why Lich had all this negative energy is because the demon wanted to enter Lich's body, and the only way that the demon was going to be able to build up all this negative energy in Lich was to kill all the elves and his wife Tetsia, and then all this negative energy was built up inside of Lich because of his hatred toward the humans. But then Secret and Lumiere arrived, and we saw in one of Lich's eyes, it kind of seems like it was corrupting him. The negative magic was corrupting him, but then he saw Secret and Lumiere, and he saw that it wasn't them that did that, so he was able to kind of fight it for a moment, but then he used a forbidden magic because of the magic stones. I guess that was the resurrection magic for the elves. And then because he didn't want someone to use his body like the demon, I guess he transformed into that thing, so that then I don't know, the Magic King would kill him, I don't really know. Maybe the demon was able to take his body for a moment, and then the Magic King killed Lich's body. I don't really know. I'm kind of confused, but that's some of the things that I understand, about what happened at the end of the episode. But basically, that demon is the one that we've seen over and over and over again, at the beginning of every episode, but that's pretty cool. But anyway, man, my review is a day late. My bad about that, but thank you for y'all for basically waiting, or maybe you didn't, maybe you just saw the notification. But it was a great episode. I can't wait for next week's episode to learn how the Wizard King was kind of sealed, and how Secret survived 500 years, And I just want to say that it was pretty cool to meet the Wizard King, in present time. We've heard a lot about him, but we didn't see a lot of him, but it was pretty cool. Let me know what you thought about this week's episode in the comments down below, and let me know what you think is gonna happen next. I do Black Clover reviews every Tuesday, so subscribe for that. But I also do other anime related things like Haikyuu reviews on Fridays. I do Boku no Hero Academia Season 4 reviews on Saturday morning. That last episode of Boku no Hero was amazing, so go check out my last review. Then I do Sword Art Online Alicization War of Underworld. It's coming back this Saturday, so my Sword Art Online reviews are every Saturday at noon. It's been on break since I think the holidays, so it's finally coming back and I can't wait. And then I do One Piece review on Saturday night. So last week's episode was pretty good. It was about the Reverie and Blackbeard and everything like that, but then now we're going back to the Wano arc, act 2, so I can't wait for that. It's gonna be amazing. But yeah, man, I know that the Boruto Naruto Next Generation anime is adapting the manga from I think late January, so I can't wait for that. I'm gonna review this for real. But yeah, man, thank you for watching. If you have some animes that you want me to review, let me know in the comments down below. I'll think about it. But yeah, man, it was a great episode, and I can't wait to see what's coming next. Follow me at Anime Specialist on Twitter and Instagram, and like, comment, subscribe. It would help my channel a lot, man. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Anime Specialist out. Peace.